Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Brian, and today I'm talking Summer House, Season 9, Episode 8, Kicking and Screaming. So I will say this is probably one of the first times in a while that the episode revolves around not the weekend. We got a lot of activities going on during the week. We had Carl's sophomore launch. We had uh, Lexi and Jesse date. We had a kickball game for West. And I'd say a decent amount of stuff happened, but to just kind of wrap up the weekend from last episode. It's just not really that common when you don't see it. Amanda and Kyle are in Italy, so maybe that's why they didn't film that weekend. Just was thinking about that right now, and then maybe that's the case. Kyle's, I guess, the straw that stirs the drink for the show, but we'll see what the timeline is for episode 9 next week. But we pick up like Emerald saying in a confessional that the toe sucking, it was how do you not remember? Like Jesse's asking him a bunch of questions about the threesome. It's like, dude, you're in there getting your toe sucked. So yeah, Emerald's a weird dude, but I think what he's saying here makes a lot of sense. Paige feels like Craig only wants to talk about things that involve their relationship. So if it's like something about Paige's career or the podcast tour starting out for her and like her recordings, he doesn't seem to care. I mean, I think it's just a bunch of foreshadowing for just what's been going on in this show. And then Southern Charm, so the Southern Charm finale tonight. So we'll find out a little bit more about that. And then we'll have to wait a couple of weeks to see what Paige has to say on her version or her side of the story when their reunion for this show happens. Lexi and Jesse go out to eat. It was nice to not see her last week. She has this moment where she's like, I'm a model and like I gave up on my managers and now my family works with me. And I'm just like, these scenes I do not care about at all, man. I really don't. I do not care about just because I think she's going to be a one and doneer. I really do. I don't think she's going to be around for a couple seasons. That's just my opinion. But I mean, I feel we get a ton of Lexi confessionals. But she didn't come last week because her grandma's sick. So hopefully the grandma's okay. I don't know. I don't look at these people's social life up at all. Jesse wants to be exclusive. Very funny after what he did this past weekend and the details that is a plot point in this episode he leaves out. And we find out about that later. Carl has a software launch. My first note is who's paying for this because this was like in New Jersey. A couple people were saying looked like a nice little man. I don't know whether they were a manor or like something like that, a mansion doing just like a. They had like merch. They had like gift bag. I mean, it's just like it's very interested to see how this will make money. And I think a couple of the cast members and confessionals are like, yeah, I'll support him, but like we're interested to see how it turns out too. We had a Bailey sighting. We haven't seen Bailey in a couple weeks, and she had a lot going on this episode. I think she brought up the toe sucking to Jesse that hearing about it and that Lexi knows and or like bringing it up in conversation. I just she was at the kickball game, so I mean it was good to see her. I wish we saw a little bit more of her over Lexi, but I mean again maybe she's just a normal person living her life, just happens to be on the show. So good on her. If they have a reunion, I wonder if she will be there because I thought she was like dead in the water, and then she had like a she had more. She was like a Gabby level character because Gabby is a very sub level character to me. And my notes for Gabby are Carl's girl tells Gabby that they had started DMing, I guess, when him and Lindsey were still together in the summer. And then I wrote down in my notes that Gabby has a plot point now. She will be the person, obviously, going right to Lindsey, and she does that in the next couple scenes, tells her all the information. She is the mouthpiece for Lindsey. And I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about like Gabby. And I don't know how I feel about, I don't really like Gabby, Carl, Lindsey, any of these people. I just feel like they know what I don't understand, like especially Gabby, what is her point on the show? She's just there for Lindsey, and we just move right into that. I mean, it's just Gabby tells Lindsey about the DM timeline, and of course, obviously it's a fake conversation. Like she was like too well prepared to have this conversation with like the things that she was dropping and like the news of like, oh, I saw him messaging somebody on the in the bedroom when we were going to have a conversation back in the old apartment, and he swept out of it, and she's now calling him a cheater, and it's just like if he was doing anything, obviously he shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, I just do not like this person at all. I know people love her. Some people like her, but I do not get it. I do not get it at all. I find her to just be completely insufferable. And yeah, she looks like next week she starts yelling at him about it. So we'll interested to see how that turns out. Uh, he's gonna get steamrolled because that's how she argues. She's like a freight train coming at you. So she'll come with the receipts and the spinning and the all those things. And Carl will. I mean, I'm not saying Carl's innocent here. I mean, he's also an idiot too. And but it's just like like you had to. I don't know. You didn't cheat on him, but you had a baby with somebody else pretty quickly. I mean, it's just kind of like the whole situation is just so stupid and crazy. It's not a normal situation. None of it's normal. Both sides. Wes has his kickball game. He referenced like, hey, this could be something that maybe me and Sierra can like get back like on some decent ground, and she doesn't come. So I thought that was really funny. She was one of the only cast members from the show that not be there, obviously besides Amanda and Kyle because they're in Italy. But I thought that was really funny. She's like, I had a brunch. I'm not coming. Uh, she didn't even have it's like this. He was just told this. There's no confessional about it. She just does not care, and I don't really blame her. Um, I read that like Lindsey is stirring the pot a little bit with the Lexi stuff about what Jesse was doing. So Lexi is now fully aware of Craig Carl mixing up these guys from this Bravo universe. Jesse getting his toe sucked, and then Jesse also flirting with Sierra because he kind of got ahead of it with the Sierra flirting, but he didn't get ahead of it on the toe sucking. And she's annoyed, and I think it's rightfully so because remember he was in there for 37 minutes. I still don't believe that's all he did. I think he did a little bit more than that. Whether he's a voyeur or not, he definitely was doing something in there for sexual benefit. That's just my opinion. May never find out about it, but we'll see how the relationship between Emerald and Jesse go throughout the season, and maybe that's like a reunion thing he drops. So we'll have to see about that. But again, Lindsey, I could just come back to Lindsey stuff. She's like, I'm sick of Carl playing the victim, and like, I don't know. I thought we were done with this. I didn't really want to get back into it. I mean, if it's a good fight, I'll take it, but I don't know. Lindsey talking just aggravates me. And when she gets, it just does. But I mean, we're plugging along. Though I mean, we're gonna have fights next week. I don't know if it's gonna be next weekend. Like, I don't know the universe. We need to see where we are when the show episode starts next week. If it's just like literally this much happened in like X amount of days, like X amount of short days. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But I mean, good for the show. We will know what goes down with the fight, and is this the Jesse heel turn moment? Is he going to start to be like his stock is like fully up with Lexi, and now she doesn't trust him, and he's going to go sink back down? Looks like Lexi says something to Sierra, so like this could start some conflict. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But um, I thought it was good. I like the show. I'm really enjoying it. Man, we've had a really busy couple of days here. So I dropped like a string of videos today. We had Survivor. There's episode of Survivor. We had the newest batch of episodes from Million Dollar Secret. We had an interview with Lauren and Se Young from the first. They were eliminated week one of the Million Dollar Secret, but we had them on for a nice little interview. And we also did. Kyle and I did. Kyle's guilty pleasure, Extracted, a show that I can't stand, but we do it. We're covering it. We have a video for that. Obviously, we're gonna have this one. Then tonight we'll also have Farmer Wants a Wife. We'll also have Amazing Race. We'll also have the reunion for final reunion part for Southern Charm. So that's important if you're watching this show. And I think that's it. What we've dropped in the last like 24 to 48 hours. So it's been crazy, but yeah. And then you know what? Once we finish the show here, another couple shows pick up on like Hulu and Netflix. So there's always gonna be something. And like we always say, if you have a suggestion, drop it in the comments below. I will definitely give it a shot and check it out. But I appreciate everyone for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See you.